Hey guys, what's up? Son of Chelsea back here for 100% Chelsea for another edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. This is a show where we take stories off the internet and talk about them. So let's get to the first story. Now, the first story we're going to be talking about today is regarding the FA. Jose Mourinho and Chelsea, and I'm sure like most Chelsea fans, including myself, are very angry hearing the news that apparently an Arsenal fan was on the independent panel that the FA had to decide Mourinho's fate, which led to him getting a ban. Now, the lawyer in question, who is an Arsenal fan who is on this panel, is actually chairing the panel. His name's Nicholas Stewart and is an Arsenal supporter. So he goes to the Emirates. He's a known Arsenal supporter. He's been on FA panels in the past and managers have complained before. But once again, the FA, another problem with Chelsea. I personally think this is just more evidence that the FA aren't run properly and they've clearly got something against Chelsea. And I don't want to sound all conspiracy theorist here, but it just doesn't look right when you've got an Arsenal fan on there deciding a fate for a rival manager. For me, it's just very wrong. There's more stories about this, and Chelsea, of course, are not happy about this, as anyone should, because knowing that there was an Arsenal fan, one of our biggest rivals as a club, one of their fans was actually chairing an FA independent panel. So that was very frustrating. Next is about Radamel Falcao. Now, apparently, he wants to quit Chelsea in January. Apparently, this story's come out this week that he's frustrated, lack of playing time. He wasn't even in the squad, actually, for the Aston Villa game. And he's worrying about his international plays. He's been linked to Barcelona and Juventus. Now, personally, something I don't understand is like players fighting for their place, and also what was Falcao's expectation when coming to Chelsea? Like, surely he should have known coming to Chelsea off the back of a poor season for United, he wasn't going to displace Diego Costa. Like, he wasn't going to come in here and get first place. That just wasn't going to happen, especially considering what Diego had done last season. So I think Falcao should have known beforehand that he wasn't going to get first team time every week. He wasn't going to get that place. He wasn't going to be guaranteed that place past Diego Costa. So I think he probably should have been more kind of wise in choosing his next move if he wanted first team football. Coming to a club like Chelsea, if you are not firing on all cylinders, then for me, you just don't deserve to start. And as well, Falcao, I think he's done well when he's come in for Chelsea. He's always looked like he's given 100%. I want to see him given more chances, but I think this is a little bit premature from him, and he should have known before coming to Chelsea that he wasn't going to get first team experience. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think he will leave, or do you just think these are certain stories? I've heard some of his family members as well are a bit annoyed about this, but a bit surprising to me, and hopefully maybe Falcao may get a few more chances in League Cup and Champions League. So next article is about the Wembley, basically. Of course, Chelsea apparently are going to move to Wembley. It's one of the venues kind of touted for when Stamford Bridge is being redeveloped. Now, an article released from the International Business Times has talked about the fact that Chelsea and Tottenham could be having a ground share. This has been talked about for a few weeks. Now, apparently, the FA chief, Martin Glent, has come out and said that he's hopeful that both clubs can come to an agreement and play at Wembley. To be honest, playing ground sharing with Tottenham, it's like, that's not really the big problem. I think it's going to Wembley. Will that be kind of easier for some people? I know, for instance, for me and a load of people, it may be a little bit more difficult, especially getting there, travelling across London. I know for some people as well, it will be really easier when Chelsea go there, and it'll only be for a few years because we have to move to somewhere, and Twickenham's out of the question now. Certain other venues have kind of been listed off, so Wembley looks like the obvious choice at the moment. So let me know, what are your thoughts on us moving to Wembley, and especially ground sharing with Tottenham? Now we move on to a more serious story, kind of something sadly outside of football. Chelsea fans were attacked before the Dynamo Kiev game on Tuesday. Apparently, around 30 supporters, including women and also elderly Chelsea supporters, were attacked in a bar, ambushed by men in balaclavas. It sounds horrific, especially for Chelsea fans, especially travelling away from home. And you know, they were in there. Chelsea fans were in a local pub, just chilling before a game, and you just have a bunch of thugs basically come in and ambush them. And fortunately, it doesn't seem like many were. I think one had to go to hospital, but still, it's shocking. And you know, it seems to be a growing trend that, you know, when English fans go abroad, they seem to get into some trouble. So Hopefully this doesn't get replicated. I know there was no more problems outside of that. I think Chelsea fans got home safely and that sounds good, but this was not a good story. I also know that Kiev fans have also had some retrospective action against them considering the actual game on Tuesday. But other than that, it doesn't seem like there were many more injuries after that, but still, you've got to feel for those fans who were involved in that. So my hopes that go out to them that, they weren't affected too badly and keep on supporting Chelsea. And the last story is one about the former Liverpool player, Didi Hamann. Now, he likes to talk about Chelsea a lot. He does lots of articles. He clearly doesn't like us. This was the same guy who called Diego Costa overrated and said he was going to be a flop at Chelsea before the start of last season. This was one of the guys who said that. This week he's come out and said, and actually compared Jose Mourinho to John Carver. Yeah, it sounds absolutely ridiculous, just like what I thought when I first saw it. He's been criticising Jose, saying the use of Hazard, the way he's been treating players. Once again, this guy, for me, has no leg to stand on. He's clearly, once again, got, like the FA, have got something against Chelsea. You see all of his articles, especially like Diego Costa. Go and read the Diego Costa comments, called him overrated, said he won't do much at Chelsea. That's where his exact quotes, exact words before the start of last season. So, to be honest, I don't know what he's talking about. And John Terry's come out this week and said that he's in full support of the players. And John Terry said he's in full support of the manager. We're all behind him. And that's definitely the case now. Hopefully, we'll come back into some form. But Didi Hamann, I don't know why he keeps on running his mouth about Chelsea. He was already shown up and made to look so foolish when he said that stuff about Diego Costa. Now he's saying stuff about Jose. Hopefully he gets proven wrong again. So that is it for this week's edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. All those stories there. Let me know your thoughts on everything I've said in the video below. You can follow me personally on Twitter @SonChelsea. Also, all the social media accounts are in the description below, and I will see you again.